Okay, guys. I know this one is an easy question for you, but let's revise this since you're going to get something like this in your exam. Let's revise this just to make sure that everyone can master this question. Remember, when you are given a question like this, the first step, which is very important, is for you to first draw your diagram. You need to first draw your diagram. So now what I'm going to do is that I know that I'm given the sign, right? So the sine beta, if I say I have the sine of beta, which is equal to 8 over 17, sine its opposite over hypotenuse, right? It's opposite all over hypotenuse, so it's y over r. So now this tells us that before we do anything, we need to use theorem of Pythagoras to calculate x. It's fine. But before that, we are given the interval. So 8 all over 17 is positive. I'm going to check which quadrant should I work with. Where is sine positive? First quadrant and quadrant 3. That's the first thing I'm going to do. Then now I'm going to select a quadrant using what? I'm going to select a quadrant using the given interval. So if this is 90 and this is 270, and they say our angle must be between these two, 90 and 270. So we're going to tick these two quadrants. So the quadrant that has 2 ticks, it's where our diagram will be. So this tells me that my diagram will be in quadrant 2. So now, according to SOHCAHTOA, we are given y as 8. I'm just gonna say we are given y as 8 and we are given r as 17. We need to use theorem of Pythagoras, which says x squared is equal to r squared is equal to x squared plus y squared. We need to find x. So if we substitute here the value of r, what is the value of r? It's given at 17 squared. It's equal to x. The value of x is the one that you are looking for. Therefore, the value of y is 8 squared. So if you can isolate this and say 17 squared minus 8 squared, it's equal to x squared. Therefore, x squared will be equal to what? Let's just write the answer. X will be equal to, the value of x will be equal to plus or minus 15. Therefore, remember, this is in quadrant 2 and all the x values are negative in this quadrant. Therefore, we can conclude and say x is equal to negative 15. So now I have everything. Now I can start answering the questions. Right. So it's very important for you to include this diagram in your. It's very important. So let me show you why I'm saying it's important. When they mark this, then they're going to give you 1 mark for a sketch. You're going to get 1 mark for a sketch and 1 mark for Pythagoras theorem. Right. So now we can attempt to answer the question. They want us to find the tan of beta. Therefore, the tan beta will be equal to, we know that according to SOHCAHTOA, tan is opposite all over adjacent. So tan is opposite, which is y, and we know that y is 8. But let's talk about this 8, guys. Let's talk about this 8. Okay, it will be 8, which is y all over hypotenuse, y all over minus 15. That is the answer for tan. Even if you write it like this and say that the tan of beta is equal to minus 8 over 15 is fine. Right. So let's go to the next one. I know this is easy. Let's go to the next one where they say the sine of 90 plus beta. This is it's a co-function. Sine changes to cos. Cos changes to sine. But the most important thing is for you to know in which quadrant is 90 plus theta. So to identify my quadrant, I'm going to say this is 90, right? So if I go in that direction, I'm going to say 90 minus theta because I'm trying to move to 0. But if I go in that direction, I'm going to say 90 plus theta because I'm trying to move from 90 to 180. So I need to add. So this tells me that this is in quadrant 2. How is sine in quadrant 2? It's positive. This will change into positive, the cos of beta. So now, remember, we can use what? We can use the diagram. Where cos is adjacent, which is minus 15, all over hypotenuse, which is 17. That is the answer. So how do they mark this? They're going to give you 1 mark for changing this into a co-function to write this thing in that form. Therefore, another mark for your correct substitution. Right, let's move to this one. I think this one will be the last one. Right, this one will be the last one. So on this one, what you have to do is that we say the cos of B. Remember, we can't use the cos B. We don't have our angle as 2B. Remember, our aim is to remove that 2B and write it in terms of the angle B, because in order for us to use this triangle, we need to have the angle as beta. So how can we remove that? And we can see this is a what? This is a double angle for cos. So I think this will be best if I write this equation as what? As the cos squared of beta minus the sine squared beta. Right. I can choose this one because already I know what is cos beta equals to. We already know what is the sine equals to. If we can quickly go back, we know cos beta is minus 15 all over 17. Then the sine of beta, we don't have sine beta. Oh, it was given as 8 all over 17. We can just substitute that information on this thing and evaluate. So I can say this is equal to minus 15 over what? Minus 15 over 17 squared minus the sine, which is 8 over 17. This was given. So if you work this thing out, 1 mark for that, 1 mark for this, then you can just give them the final answer. You just have to punch this on the calculator and write your final answer. Therefore, you can have the last mark. So identity 1 mark, substitution 1 mark, CA correct answer 1 mark. Right, so this is how you answer this question. So this is an easy question, and this is the question that you should expect in an exam. You should expect something like this. But remember, sometimes they can give you maybe something more interesting. Okay, maybe we'll do more examples before you guys go to write your exams. Right, so on the next, I want us to answer this question. Right, question 7. I want us to work on question 7.